What if the life you desire is waiting just beyond the very things you keep running from? Sit with that. Growth is uncomfortable. Learning is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. But staying exactly as you are also carries a cost, and it is a very steep one. Because when you stop growing, you don't simply remain where you are. The world moves forward. Opportunities shift. People evolve. Circumstances transform. And if you resist growth, you slowly find yourself unprepared for the life you might have lived. So listen closely. No one feels motivated every single day. There will be mornings when getting up feels impossible. There will be books you don't want to read, skills you don't want to practice, conversations you'd rather avoid, work you don't feel like tackling. But those very moments may be the most significant, because growth doesn't flourish in comfort. Growth happens when you push yourself to become more disciplined, more capable, more patient, more courageous. You don't need to tear yourself apart. To grow, you simply need to stretch yourself a little further, a little higher, a little better than you were yesterday. Your future demands a more robust version of you, so stop asking what feels easy. Ask, what will make me better? That one question can shift everything. Today, let's explore why you must sometimes drive yourself forward when motivation fades. How discomfort can become your greatest instructor. How discipline paves the way for growth. And how pushing yourself to take that next step can ultimately reshape who you are. Because sometimes you don't need another excuse to delay. You need a reason to start. Push yourself, challenge yourself, cultivate yourself, and become who your future needs you to be. Now, ponder this. The life you want may be residing just outside the life you are content living. Comfort feels pleasant. It feels secure. It feels familiar. And that is precisely why it can become a trap. Because what brings you comfort today can become the very thing that holds you back tomorrow. Reflect on it. You know you need to exercise, yet the couch feels more appealing. You know you should study, yet entertainment seems easier. You know you should begin, yet waiting seems safer. You know you should change, yet your old habits feel reassuring. And gradually, comfort becomes a habit. That habit then becomes a way of life. And eventually, you wonder why nothing has changed. Now understand this. Growth demands movement, and movement demands discomfort. You cannot get stronger without testing your limits. You cannot build discipline without doing things you'd rather avoid. You cannot develop confidence without facing uncertainty. You cannot improve by merely repeating what you already know. Growth commences when you step beyond the familiar. Now, this doesn't mean you should seek out unnecessary hardship. It means you should stop fleeing from every obstacle. Some discomfort is essential. Some difficulty is constructive. Some struggle is exactly what shapes you. Consider a muscle. Without resistance, it won't grow stronger. Your mind functions similarly. Your character functions similarly. Your discipline functions similarly. You must present yourself with challenges to conquer, and in doing so, you emerge stronger. Now, reflect. Where have I grown too comfortable? Perhaps you've been postponing a goal. Maybe you've been sidestepping responsibility. Maybe you've been promising yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into next week. Next week becomes next month. And eventually, a year slips by. Nothing changes. Why? Because you kept picking comfort over necessity. Understand this. Your comfort zone isn't a physical location. It's a mental boundary. It's the line where you cease to challenge yourself. And the longer you linger there, the smaller your world can shrink. You grow accustomed to less effort, less learning, less risk, less responsibility, less growth. Eventually, you start defending the very habits that are restraining you. Don't let that happen. Challenge yourself. Tackle something complex. Learn something unfamiliar. Rise earlier. Confront your weaknesses. Initiate the conversation you've been dodging. Accept responsibility. Complete what you started. Engage in something that forces you to become better, not because discomfort is the aim. Growth is the aim. Discomfort is merely sometimes the price. Now listen, you don't have to overhaul your entire existence overnight. Begin with one uncomfortable choice. Just one, then another. Each time you favor growth over comfort, you fortify yourself. You demonstrate something to yourself. I can handle difficult things. That belief is potent because once you trust your ability to manage hardship, you stop fleeing from tests. You start leveraging them. You begin to view obstacles and ask, what can this teach me? That is a distinct way to live. Now, consider your future. The person you aim to become will need skills you haven't yet acquired, discipline you might not yet possess, knowledge you may not yet hold, confidence you may not yet have. So don't be disheartened that you aren't that person today. Start building that person. Learn, practice, stumble, adjust, try once more, expand. Because the objective isn't to stay comfortable. The objective is to become capable of handling more, capable of absorbing more, capable of achieving more, capable of evolving further. So when life hands you a challenging opportunity, don't immediately ask how you can evade it. Ask how you can evolve through it. That question can transform your life, because the strongest version of you is rarely forged in the easiest moments. It is forged when you persevere, when circumstances are tough, when you opt for discipline over the call of comfort, when you take action despite excuses. So venture beyond your comfort zone. Not carelessly, not unwisely, but purposefully. Challenge yourself, drive yourself, instruct yourself, and remember that the discomfort you feel today may be the strength you require tomorrow. Growth begins where comfort ends. And sometimes, the next chapter of your life starts with one simple choice: to stop picking what is easy and start picking what makes you better. Now hear this. If you desire growth, stop expecting it to occur organically. Growth requires deliberate intent. You must engineer situations that ask more of you. Because if you perpetually choose simplicity, you will continue to develop the same limited abilities. So challenge yourself. Give yourself a compelling reason to improve. Start with your routines. Examine your daily habits. What are you doing that preserves your comfort? And what are you neglecting because it seems tough? Be truthful. Your growth hinges on that honesty. Now select one thing you recognize needs work. Maybe it's your discipline, your health, your communication, your knowledge, your finances, or your confidence. Don't attempt to fix everything at once. Pick one, then commit. Show up for it daily. Not just when you're motivated, every day. That's how you cultivate consistency. Now grasp this. You don't need to feel ready before you start. Readiness is often born from repetition. You begin, you struggle, you learn, you refine, and then you improve. So stop asking, do I feel ready? Ask, what can I do today to make progress? That question ignites action. Now, set deadlines for yourself. A goal without a deadline can remain a mere wish. Choose a date, choose a target. Then reverse engineer the steps. What must happen this week? What must happen today? What must happen right now? Divide the big goal into small, actionable tasks. Then complete them, one after another. Now, here's another impactful practice. Surround yourself with individuals who challenge your perspective. People who are learning, who are disciplined, who are building, who expect more of themselves. Your environment is crucial. If everyone around you is content with stagnation, you may become content too. But when you spend time with people who are growing, their standards can elevate yours. You begin to think differently. You start expecting more. You begin to see possibilities you previously missed. Now pay attention. Learn something each day. Read a few pages. Study a relevant skill. Listen to something instructive. Note what you learn. Then implement it. Knowledge that remains unused doesn't create much change. So don't just gather information. Use it, practice it, and convert knowledge into skill. Now, deliberately set yourself a difficult task. Use the stairs. Get up when you promised you would. Finish the job before you reach for entertainment. Have that tough conversation. Say no to unnecessary diversions. These might seem minor, but they teach your mind a powerful lesson. I do what I say I will do. That is self-trust. And self-trust breeds strength. Now, remember, you don't have to compel yourself to become flawless. You have to compel yourself to keep advancing. Some days will be powerful. Some days will be weak. Some days you will succeed. Some days you will stumble. Don't stop. Adjust. Learn. Continue. Because steady consistency is more potent than occasional intensity. So create challenges, set benchmarks, build routines, curate better environments, learn every day. Take action even when you lack the desire. And slowly, something remarkable occurs. The individual who once craved motivation begins to cultivate discipline. The individual who once dodged challenges begins to pursue them. The individual who once doubted themselves begins to trust themselves. That is growth. And it begins the moment you decide to stop waiting for life to force you and start pushing yourself toward the person you know you can become. Now think about this. You might not yet know how capable you truly are. Not yet. Because capability is often revealed only after you are tested. You don't uncover your strength by avoiding difficulty. You uncover it by attempting it, by struggling, by failing, by rising again, by trying once more. That is where your latent ability begins to surface. Now hear this. Most people impose limits before they ever put themselves to the test. They say, I can't do that. I'm not good at this. That's not for someone like me. I've never done it before. But reflect on those words. How can you truly know your capacity if you never give yourself the chance to discover you can? So question the assumption. Instead of saying, I can't, ask, what would happen if I gave it a try? That question opens a door. Now, choose something that feels slightly beyond your current reach. Not impossible, not reckless, just demanding enough to make you uneasy. Maybe read a challenging book. Learn a new skill. Start exercise consistently. Speak in front of others. Accept responsibility for something you usually avoid. Build something. Create something. Complete something. The aim isn't to impress anyone. The aim is to discover yourself. Because every challenge teaches you something. You learn what you know. You discover what you don't. You identify your weaknesses. You uncover your strengths. And most importantly, you learn that you can improve. Now take this to heart. Don't fear failure. Failure is data. It tells you what requires adjustment. Maybe your approach was flawed. Maybe your preparation was lacking. Maybe you need more practice. Discover, learn, adjust, try again. The one who never fails may simply be the one who never attempts anything difficult. Don't make that your story. Now, envision a runner. The first mile may feel grueling. The body screams stop. But with training, the body adapts. The distance becomes manageable. Then the runner goes further. The same principle applies to your character. Your first difficult choice feels arduous. Your second becomes a bit easier. Your third builds confidence. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes routine. That's how boundaries are moved. Not all at once, but gradually, one challenge at a time. Understand this. Your current ability is not your final ability. You can learn, you can practice, you can grow, you can get stronger. So don't say, this is who I am. Say, this is where I am right now. There is a profound difference. One statement builds a cage. The other creates a starting point. Now, confront your habits. If you always delay, finish something early. If you avoid difficult dialogues, have one. If you waste your mornings, establish a better morning routine. If you avoid learning, study something valuable. If you always prefer comfort, choose discipline instead. Small challenges forge a stronger identity. Each time you honor a promise, you strengthen self-respect. Each time you complete a task, you build confidence. Each time you persist, you prove you can endure. Now, listen closely. Don't measure your progress against someone else's path. Your challenge is to surpass the person you were yesterday. 1% better, a little more disciplined, a little more focused, a little more knowledgeable, a little more courageous. That is sufficient, because small, repeated improvements can create massive change over time. Now, ask yourself, what would I attempt if I wasn't scared of failing? What skill would I learn? What goal would I chase? What responsibility would I take on? What dream would I finally start? Your answers might reveal something crucial. Perhaps the real limitation was never your talent. Perhaps it was your willingness to test it. So challenge yourself. Push a little further. Learn a little more. Endure a little longer. Try one more time. And when your mind whispers that is enough, ask, is it truly? Maybe you can take one more step, one more page, one more attempt, one more day. That's how you discover your capabilities. Not by pondering your potential, but by putting it to the test. Your limits aren't always barriers. Sometimes they are simply places you have never ventured beyond. So, step forward, challenge yourself, and uncover what has been within you all along. Now ponder this. Growth shouldn't be something you engage in occasionally. It should become the way you live. Because if you only grow when circumstances compel you, you will always be in reaction mode. But when growth becomes intentional, you begin to architect your future. You start posing better questions. What can I learn? What can I refine? What can I do better? What kind of person am I becoming? Those questions can alter the trajectory of your life. Now listen, you don't have to transform into a completely different person overnight. Growth isn't about achieving perfection. It's about getting better. A little better each day. Read something worthwhile. Acquire a new skill. Polish your habits. Look after your body. Fortify your mind. Excel at your work. Have more meaningful conversations. Small improvements gain power when they become consistent. Now, contemplate your daily routine. Your routine is instructing you daily. If you invest your time in learning and growing, you become a person who learns. If you spend your time evading responsibility, you become someone who avoids. Your habits are sculpting your identity, so choose them deliberately. Now realize this, never grow too complacent with what you already know. The world changes, industries change, technology changes, opportunities change, and you must be willing to change and adapt as well. Keep learning, keep questioning, keep exploring. Stay curious, because curiosity keeps the mind vibrant. Now listen, make growth a scheduled part of your life. Don't leave it to chance. Allocate time to read, to practice, to reflect, to learn, to plan. Even 30 minutes can make a difference when used consistently. You don't need sweeping changes. You need steady progress. Now, consider failure. If growth is your lifestyle, failure becomes a mentor. A mistake happens. You ask, what did this teach me? A plan fails. You ask, what should I alter? You face rejection. You ask, what can I improve? You don't squander the experience. You leverage it. That is growth. Now, remember, the people around you also matter. Spend time with those who encourage learning, people who challenge your viewpoints, people who accept responsibility, people who aim to become better. Your environment can either fuel your growth or reinforce your complacency. Choose wisely. And finally, never stop elevating your standards. Not because you are unhappy with who you are, but because you respect who you can evolve into. Examine your life and ask what the next level is. Then prepare for it. Learn for it, work for it, become ready for it. Because growth is not a final stop. There is always another lesson, another skill, another challenge, another chance to become wiser, stronger, better. So make growth your way of life. Don't wait for January. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the flawless moment. Start today. Learn today. Improve today. And tomorrow, do it again. Because when growth becomes your daily expectation, your life doesn't stay stagnant. You keep progressing. You keep expanding. You keep evolving into the person you were meant to become. Now, hear this carefully. Growth should not be a sporadic visit. It should become your benchmark. Not something you do when life is smooth. Not something you do when you feel driven, but something you choose every single day. Because your standards shape your choices, and your choices shape your life. If your standard is comfort, you will avoid difficulty. If your standard is mediocrity, you will settle for mediocrity. But if your standard is growth, you will keep asking, how can I become better? That question can change everything. Now think about your habits. What do you expect from yourself? Do you honor your commitments? Do you finish what you start? Do you keep learning? Do you take ownership? When things go wrong, your answers reveal your current standard. And if you don't like the answer, don't complain. Raise the standard. Start with something small. Wake up when you said you would. Complete the work before seeking distraction. Read a few pages. Practice a valuable skill. Exercise. Plan your day. Keep your word. These may seem like ordinary actions, but repeated consistently, they build an extraordinary identity. Now understand this. You don't need to be flawless. You need to be more consistent. Yesterday's best can become today's baseline, and today's progress can become tomorrow's benchmark. That is how you grow. You raise the bar. Then you learn to live at that level. Then you raise it again. Now pay attention. Don't measure growth only in financial terms. Growth is also better thinking, better habits, better relationships, better decisions, better discipline, better character, a larger life. A larger life demands a greater ability to handle responsibility. So become stronger before you ask for more. Become wiser before you demand more. Become more disciplined before you pursue bigger opportunities. Because what you receive must be supported by who you are. Now, consider your environment. Your standards are shaped by what you witness every day. If everyone around you accepts excuses, excuses can become normalized. If everyone around you shuns responsibility, avoiding responsibility can feel normal. But when you surround yourself with people who learn, people who work, people who improve, growth starts to feel normal too. Choose your environment thoughtfully. Now, remember, there will be days when you fall short. You will procrastinate. You will err. You will lose concentration. That's part of being human. Don't let one bad day be a license to give up. Correct yourself. Learn from it. Return to your standard. That is discipline, not perfection. Consistency. So make growth your new benchmark. Expect more from yourself without becoming your own adversary. Challenge yourself without dismantling yourself. Keep improving without forgetting to appreciate how far you've already come. Because the goal is not to become someone else. The goal is to become the strongest, most capable version of yourself. And when growth becomes your standard, you stop asking, do I have to change? You start asking, what can I improve next? That is a powerful way to live. Learn more, become better, elevate your standards, accept responsibility, keep advancing. Because the moment you make growth your new benchmark, standing still no longer feels comfortable, and your future begins to look different. Remember, growth is not a destination. It is a decision you make every day. Challenge yourself. Learn something new. Do what is hard. Keep your promises. Raise your standards. And never become too content with who you are today. Because the person you will become tomorrow is being forged by what you do today. So don't wait for change. Create it. Don't wait for motivation. Build discipline. Don't wait for the ideal moment. Start now. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep becoming. Because your greatest potential may still lie ahead of you.